Hey, your idea of perfection is messing with your progression. Guess what? I want to help you nip that in the bud today. I'm Dr. Leslie Francisco McClendon, and we are about to set the tone. Hey, I said it right. If you've watched me for any length of time, I don't know if this is your first episode or your 21st episode, whatever, but you know that I'm normally recording in my studio and I have like the lighting behind me and it's perfect. And I normally put on like some makeup and try to make sure everything's in pristine condition. But I really wanted to show what it's like to be able to do something and it not be perfect. I think that perfect gets in so many of our ways. How many of you, show of virtual hands, you can let me know in the comments if this is you. You've sat on something for so long because it's just not perfect yet. You've been writing books allegedly for a long time, but you haven't released it or put a rough draft out because it's not perfect yet. Or you've been working on music for a while, but because you can't get it exactly the way that it sounds in your head, you won't release anything because it's not perfect yet. So many of us are sitting on giftings and talents and things that we need to get done, and we're either putting it off or we just quit altogether because it's not quite what we think that it should look like. Hey, I'm in my office today, and as you all can see, it is not perfect. It's actually a mess. I'm getting ready to have this new bookshelf and library, and I'm working on a whole bunch of stuff. But I thought today, for Set the Tone, that I would just show you all some of the behind the scenes, because I'm going to start recording in here, right? And maybe you're going to go, oh, that looks beautiful. That set looks so nice. But I need you to see what it looks like to get there. Even some of us who, organizing might not be our strong suit, but you'll realize that before something looks really, really good, it looks pretty messy, right? For instance, this past weekend, I spent a lot of time trying to organize and clean up my kitchen. And it looks good now, but guess what? Leading up to it, it was a mess. And a lot of things are like that in our lives too, that before something looks really, really good, it looks disorganized, it looks a mess, or it's in shambles. But I want to let you know that just because it looks in disarray doesn't mean that it always has to be that way. I love the fact that it rhymes. So I'm going to say it again. Just because things look in disarray doesn't mean that they always have to be that way. Listen, I want to encourage you this morning, this evening, whatever time you are watching this, that perfection is not the goal, but guess what? Progression is. So I would hate to come to you all next Monday if I record in here again this time and it looks the exact same way as it does now. Listen, it may not be perfect. Everything may not be lined up the way that I want, but you know what is going to happen? The next time I film in here, it's going to look better than it does right now. So don't get mad at your behind the scenes. Understand that you are simply a work in progress right now. And I'd rather you be a work in progress than a work that's on pause. Did you hear that? I'd rather you be a work in progress, because that means you're moving, you're advancing, than a work that's on pause. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't take a breather and things like that every now and then. I believe in self-care. I believe in rest. I believe that that's all well and good. But for some of us, we're stuck between pause and perfection. And either we're just like, okay, I'm quit. I'm not going to do anything at all. Or we say, hey, it's got to be super perfect before I even launch anything at all. Listen, perfection is not the goal, but progression helps you get to the next level. So you see what's going on in my office right now, but I'm here to tell you, even though there might be some doors that aren't quite on the hinges now, there are some degrees that are on the floor and all over the place, got coffee mugs and things that seem out of place right now. I want to let you know that this isn't even how it looked just a little while ago. I'm telling you, I'm going to say it one more time, that perfection is not the goal, but progression is. So I want you to ask yourself the question, in what areas of my life, in my business, my organization, my ministry, my schoolwork, whatever it is that I'm doing, do I need to be progressing in? And I need you to commit to doing that this week. I hope that was helpful. and you really enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with somebody else. But you know what's most important? That you internalize these set the tones and that you do something about the words that have been spoken. Again, I'm Dr. Leslie Francisco McClendon, and your tone has just been set.